Good morning. This is our video 3 of our Series 2007 Crown Victoria. This is our H2GoNow 2007 Crown Victoria. Basically, let me show you where we're at. So I've altered the plumbing and everything several times, trying to get the best run on just the hydroxy. And we've had some pretty good success. We got our new pressure regulator in there, and basically what that's for is the computer controls the fuel pressure on the rail, and we wanted to take that control away, so when it escalates higher than what we can manage out of our blue box, this is actually going to return the excess fuel to the gas tank. Now, to do the repairs on the gas tank, I had to empty the fuel tank completely. Now, as you can see, we put a new little nozzle into the fuel tank and just JB welded it in there, repaired a couple little leaks that we had. This is our return hose. It isn't hooked up yet. Now, if we had any fuel in the car whatsoever, the fuel would come running out of this line. Our blue box has been absolutely wonderful. I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. No leaks, no rips, no ravels or run down on the heels. As you can see, we've gone through a lot of water, so I know that we're producing lots of hydrogen. Lots of hydrogen. And we got everything all put together inside the vehicle. As you can see, we have a pressure gauge which shows us our manifold pressure. We have the ultra gauge mounted up on the top so that the driver has pretty much eyes on all the gauges all the time. And how we're going to be regulating our bias pressure with the fuel is with that little rheostat there. Anyway, I've got the new laptop all fixed up and ready to rock and roll here. And I'm going to show you how everything works now. What we have to do is just build up just a little bit more pressure. It likes 20 plus to run well. While it's doing that, I'm going to show you that we have absolutely no fuel in the gas tank whatsoever. It's below EEE. All we're going to be running on is that hydroxy pressure on the gauge. Now that I've got the system up, we're going to go ahead and plug in our little USB, fire up our Ultrax. Well, we're on our maiden voyage here. This is Crown Victoria 2007 H2GoNow. Progress report number 3. This morning you see we're running on about 50 amps. We've installed a gauge so we can see what our pressure is, and this is our maiden voyage on the hydrogen. Turn that down a little bit to about 20. We are running just on water. We got a pretty good grade coming out here, so this is going to be a pretty good opportunity for us to see whether this is going to work or not. So you can see we're completely out of fuel. A little bit rough. We're hoping that the Volvo will take over here. Like I say, it's really hard to get a standard engine, especially a computerized one, to do all the things that you want it to do. But we've come pretty close with the Volvo with the SHO program in it. Well, here we are, just driving on water. Yes, we can motivate. Roll up the windows here so you can hear what I'm saying. And we've got things down to about 4 amps is all we're cruising on right now. Now the difference is when we get things that high in pressure, the HHO has a lot more energy, because I think we're actually folding the hydrogen molecules together to make H4. But anyway, it has a lot more energy. The higher the pressure you go, the more energy it has. So we're going to step on it here. Well, a little bit jumpy, but hey, we're running on water. What do you expect? Yeah, we're up to about 90 on a 35, so we better cool our jets a tad. Anyway, I'm going to splice a couple pieces from one before I got the car off the jack stands. Again, this is before fuel. We're running on just the hydroxy pressure in the injection rail. And we're doing it about 5 amps. Pretty miraculous, I think. Now we have probably a gallon's worth of pressurized space in there. So now that my pressure's gone down a little bit, I'm going to hit a little bit more amperage. That brought us up to about 16. We're going downhill and not using anything. It's time for some AC. No problems, because we're drawing, what, 18 amps from the charging system. Excuse the shaky video, but this is what I got to work with. And I think we're doing pretty darn good with what we're working with here. Thank you, Jesus. This thing is running great now. It's kind of smooth. Now that we've almost got the engine up to temperature, that means that it's going to be heating up the water, and the cell will put out a little bit more, and the steam seems to slow down the burn rate and make it a little bit more compatible with the vehicle's computer. I think what we're going to need in the future is probably a dual injection system for one of these, where we can inject the fuel and the hydroxy, because when we go to mix things, it gets a little bit complicated, because you always have one trying to overwork the other one. We don't have a really good proportioning system. It's just kind of line of sight, watch your gauges type of deal. Anyway, this is doing marvelous this morning. And this is probably the end of our Series 3 video, because I better concentrate on driving. This is Fred. I'll catch you in a minute.